Hi guys, simerlypoe here, back again with another speed build video. So I am back again in the island living expansion. I just wanted to build one more home. I just wanted to build a little bit of a larger home this time, because I was playing around with the pack and I needed a home for about 7 to 8 sims. So this is what I've come up with. So I just started around making a deck area because I knew that I wanted to have something like huts on the water deck. So I had that in mind. So I was just playing around here, just making a few decks, just kind of seeing how I wanted it to look. So that's what I did there. And then once I've done that, I've just kind of planned out a little area in the middle, which is going to be the main section for the Sims to live. So I've decided that I'm going to have a living room and a little bit of a bedroom in there, but I want to kind of have like huts all scattered around the deck, so like a bathroom, a couple of bedrooms, etc. It's just something I had in my head. I didn't get any image of anything this time, and I really like the way it turned out, guys. I love this. I'm really in love with this build. I love the way the colours turned out, everything. It's just one of my faves now, it really is. So what I've done here, like I said, I've just built a little room in the middle there, and I'm going to have like 3 levels to this. So I'm going to have a living area and a kitchen. I'm going to have it quite spacious. I want it to kind of have like, because in this kind of what do you call it, in these houses, they have rooms that are kind of all together, and they have like sections to section it off, so they don't really have specific rooms, and a lot of them share the same rooms. So this is what I've done here. So I'm just playing around here, just making it look more pleasing to the eye, and I'm going through a lot of the island living pack, and I'm just looking for things that I find appropriate for this build. I knew I wanted the colour scheme to be quite orangey browny so that's what I've come up with here. So I'm just playing around with the fences, and I'm just playing around with these door kind of, what do you call them, area things and I'm just putting them in with a roof. Just wanted it to make it look a bit nicer, and I've just put this glass screen door that you can slide across, and I'm just putting in these pillars here just to make a little bit of a balcony area here. So I go in the roof section and I find these little roofs, so I just wanted to make the roof look a bit more interesting, so I've just placed them in there just to give it that extra design feel. So when I was doing this lot, I was looking for somewhere that I could build something quite big, and I was looking around Sulani, and we don't have any 64 by 64 lots, which I was really disappointed with. We've got 2 50 by 50, one's off the grid, and then you've got this one here. And there's not much room. I mean, there is, obviously, but I wanted to do something a lot bigger. I'm a bit disappointed with that, I'm going to be honest. I would have preferred a few more 64 by 64 lots. I hope one day they can kind of release something like, you know, a world like they did in Newcrest with more bigger lots, because that would be really cool. I think we need them. I like making bigger builds. I just enjoy that more because I've got more room to play around with. So here I'm just choosing some windows. I just chose some of those shutters here, and I'm just changing the colours around. I'm just choosing what I want. I'm not too sure, and then I'm just going in and I'm just deleting the middle here just to neaten it up, so I don't have to come back later and fiddle around with that. So I'm just picking that kind of like wood theme, that kind of look, like burnt orange, like the sun's burnt it kind of thing. And I'm finding all these little pieces in the island living pack, so I'm just decorating, just making it look a bit more pleasing to your eye. So I'm going around here the edge, and I don't really know what I'm doing. Like I always say, I never know what I'm doing. I'm just playing around and seeing what I want to do. And I'm just playing around with these pillars, and I just thought from the, what expansion was that, Jungle Adventure, I thought, well, could I put them in? But no, they didn't look very right, so I just took them out again. And I'm just going through the objects, just choosing what I think would be nice. I love these little tiki decorations for the walls, so I put them in all around the build, and I just changed the colour because I want it to be quite bright and cheerful. And I love this little, what do you call it, the sea urchin thing, so I'm putting that everywhere at the moment, to be honest. I just think it's a really nice decoration. So once I've done that, I'm just going to move on to the first hut. So I've just come up with this little hut, and I'm just very simple, just putting a little roof on it and just changing the colour around. I want this one to be a bedroom, so I want 2 bedrooms on either side. So that's what I'm doing here. So it's just a small bedroom, just very open, no rooms dividing it or anything like that, because I want my Sims to be sharing a room. So I'm just pulling around the roof edging, just making it look nicer, and kind of, so I want it to be kind of like a shaded area that the Sims can walk around. So I'm just playing around, pulling and going up and down, and just pulling around, just making it look nicer. and I'm changing the roof colours, etc. And then I just go in and I just make the roof look a little bit more nicer, and I just change it around with these roof decorations here. And I think they're really cool, these roof decorations. I quite like them. I'd like to move on and do a different build, not in Sulani. This is going to be my last one for now. I know I've done a few at the moment, but it's just 'cause I'm so excited about this pack and I want to play around with it. And I really love the colours in this pack as well. Oh my gosh, they are just so beautiful. Look at that. It just makes you so happy. It makes you want to go to a tropical island and just sit there and relax. And do you know what? It really reminds me of that film Moana, that Disney film. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but if you haven't, you should, because I'm absolutely in love with that film. It's just incredible. So it does, this pack does really remind me of that film. It really does. So here I've just moved on to the middle here. I've duplicated that hut on the other side because I want them to be identical, and this is going to be the bathroom area. So I'm just fiddling around with the roof. I want it to be a little bit different to the other huts, so I'm just playing around putting in the roof here. Just, I wanted this one to be a bit more circular, and I'm just playing around putting a bit of a dome roof in the middle here. So like I say, this is going to be where the sim goes to the toilet, and I'm just putting in some shutters and some blinds and some sliding doors, etc., just to make it look nicer. I really like these windows. They're really cool. You can make some really nice looking homes with it. It's just lovely. Really enjoying them. I'm just pulling around the deck, pulling around the roofs, just trying to fit it, make it look nicer. And I'm trying to think to myself, what can I do here? So then, I didn't want it to look too cluttered out the front, but I did go a bit overboard. But you know what? I think it turned out quite nice because I am all about colour. I do like colour. I think it looks beautiful in this pack, and I like a lot of this landscaping, the plants and the colours of the plants. I'm really liking these bushes. I think they're gorgeous. I mean, they only come in 3 colours, but do you know what? It doesn't matter. They're absolutely beautiful, and I look forward to kind of doing a Willow Creek or something like that and using those in there. I think that would look really nice. And these trees are absolutely beautiful, but they were a bit too big and I wasn't sure where to put them. So I'm just playing around, just making it look more tropical, and I wasn't sure what I'm doing. I'm just, you know, having a go, seeing what looks nice, and thinking to myself, you know, what would it look like in the real world? And this is what I've come up with. And I wasn't sure if like cactuses, I mean, you know, cactuses are desert kind of plants, aren't they? But I mean, they do grow in the tropicals, so I've put a couple of them in. Whether it's not appropriate or not, I don't know, but I still think they look really pretty, and I really do actually quite like these cactuses. So I've just made a little path area here, and I'm just putting in a bit of the tropical greenery just to make it look nice and lush. And one of these cheese plants and one of these yuccas, etc. So just putting them in there just to give it more, you know, decoration and more colour. I want this build to be very colourful. That's how I'm feeling with this one. I want the eye to be going all around the build just to make it look really tropical and lush. So I'm just going in here. I'm not going to go too mad with the rocks this time. I'm sick of doing so many rocks. I'm always doing it, so I just make a pathway there. And these ladders I really like, so I just put these to one side, and I just wanted to put this boat in here with a little jet ski. So I've done that, and I wasn't sure where to put the jet ski, so I just decided just to put it on the other side there. And I do have to go back in later and change it because it's a bit too shallow, but you know, I just wanted it to kind of look nice when you're originally looking at this, so I want the boat to be in there. So again, I'm going for these wedding arches. This is one of my favourite things in this pack actually. I think you can make some beautiful things with this. So the wedding arches I'm just putting in there, and I'm just putting in, you know, the mailbox and things like that, because obviously you need the mailbox. And I'm just playing around, just putting in the objects here, just having a look at what I can do, make it look nicer. And I thought to myself, should I use those wedding arches and make a little kind of like circular dome on top of the roof? But I didn't go for that in the end. I did it and then I changed my mind. And then what I do, I just kind of like go back in and I make more arches around the area, and I think that looks really cool here. And on this little section, I just wanted to have a little bit of an outdoor area, so I just make a few, I just get one of the canopies and I just size that up and I just put that in. I'm just going to have that kind of like little barbecue seating area for the Sims to go and relax and have a nice time in the sun with a barbecue, etc. So that's what I've done there. And then I just thought to myself, it's just still a bit boring, so I go in and I take the glass floors and I put them in. And I find these little lamps here, I've never seen them before. I can't believe I didn't know they existed. I think they're really cute with the little red lights on, they're really nice. So I'm going around the build again, just making it look a bit more interesting, and I just put a tiny little boat on this side here because this family is going to be really into the kind of the sea, proper Sulani people who have lived here for generations, and you know they just live for this world, you know. So I wasn't sure what to do here. I just wanted to make it look a bit more colourful. So I just take some of these tropical ferns and I just kind of hang them on the edge here, just so they look like they're cascading up, a bit of overgrown. I just think that looks really, really pretty. I don't really use these flowers too often. I actually quite like them. I should use them more often. And you've got these ferns here. I think they're from the Adventure Pack, and they've got these hanging heliconias on it, which they're quite tropical. They come from, you know, tropical land, so I put them in there. Just makes it look a bit prettier. And I'm just going around the build, just making it look pretty and more pleasing to the eye. And I really like the way this pack looks at night. I think it's absolutely beautiful. The colours, they've outdone themselves. I know I said that in the last one, but building this was so much fun. I really, really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed the last one, but this one I just enjoyed so much more. I just love colour. I just love the way this looks, and this, I haven't even played this pack much. I'll go to play it and then I'm like, oh well, I want to play it, but I want a bigger family, so this is why I've kind of built this one. And when I'm going around as well, I was looking at like the bar, the sand bar, and the beach, and it's not very nice, I'll be honest. I was playing around and I was going around the kind of world and looking at things, and it's so simple, and I know why they do that, you know. The Sims gurus and stuff, when they make it, I know they do that because a lot of people don't have the right specs on the PC, so they do it so, you know, when they do get the pack it's easier for them to load. But I just wish they kind of did a little bit more, because now I'm going to have to go in and just rebuild it, but that's probably just my OCDs and I'm just not happy with it, so I just want to make it my own, you know. So moving on to the inside, so like I said, I wanted the first hut, I want it all to be quite open. So I've done a kitchen area here, and I wasn't too sure what I was going to do. I was just playing around with the objects. So I've just made this little tiny kitchen area in the corner, and I'm just putting the counters in and the high top counters, just fiddling around, just seeing what I think looks nice. And nothing too fancy, nothing too big, just want it to be just there, you know, so it's walking through and it's all open plan. So this is what I'm doing here, and I haven't gone too mad with clutter either. I'm just playing around with the objects, just making it look nicer. And I just take one of these plants and just put it on top of one of these blinds. I quite like these blinds as well, they're really cute. And I'm just putting in this rug and a table here, and just enough chairs for the Sims to gather around when they're eating, etc. And I quite like all these plants, and a lot of the plants that I've used are actually from the Jungle Adventure Pack. I think they really suit this build. It's just very, very pretty. So I'm just going around, just putting a carver bowl in and a few spices and one of these rotating wind fans. So I think you can actually, that cools it down now, so it goes like a temperature gauge. As far as I'm aware, I have to play on that, I think that's correct. So I'm just put that in there, and I really like all these curtains. I think the curtains are one of my favourite actually. I think they look really, really cool. And I'm just going around, you know, placing the objects in, just trying to make it look a bit pretty, not too cluttered, because I want them to have, you know, room to walk around, because I feel that, you know, a hut wouldn't be too bad, but me being me, I can't help myself, I just clutter. So I said before, I need to kind of get that out of myself and try things different, but I can't help it. I'm like it in real life. I hoard everything. I paint, and I've just got paintbrushes and paint supplies and canvases everywhere. I just a clutter freak. So I'm just going around the build, just decorating it, and I just want a small sitting area with a little television. I wasn't going to put a television in at first, but then I decided against it because I thought, you know, they need some fun when they're, you know, in the home, and of course they'd have a television. Most people have a television. So I'm just playing around the objects, and I put in these little flower murals on the floor. I just thought they really suited this build, and I'm just playing around, nothing planned, just putting in the objects, seeing what I think looks nice. And I thought I'm going to put a little stereo in, but I couldn't find anywhere that it suited, so then I just chose a jukebox and just put it in there. So I wasn't sure, I just wanted to cover up the top area here, the wall, so I've just put in these bookcases, and I took that shelf from the island living and I just made it a bit smaller and just raised it a bit. I'm just stacking the shelves up on each other. I just thought that looked quite pretty, and I just wanted to make a little entrance table with a flower on it, just something that you'd probably have when you walk into a home, just something that, you know, you put your newspapers on, etc, etc. So then I move on to the next room. So I've just gone on to the back bathroom area here, so I've got quite a lot of room here to play around with. So I'm just taking a few items and I'm just placing them in, and this time I remember to put the toilet in because I always forget to put the toilet in for some reason. I just play around and I put things in, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, there's no toilet. So, but that's my scattiness there. So then I'm just moving around the objects, and I'm just making this deck area, and I thought, should I put a hot tub in, but I didn't. I just decided against that, and I'm just going around the build, just making it look quite rustic and that kind of theme area here. So I'm doing that, and I'm just putting objects around this bathroom area, just how I see fit. Nothing fancy, just something that makes it look very pretty and island themed. So yeah, that's what I'm doing there, and I want to kind of stick to the woodish kind of feel, so that's what I'm doing. And I really like these palms and these pots here, so I chose them, and I'm just going and decorating the wall. And again, I was going through all the decorations, and I used this painting a lot because I felt like it was quite interesting, so I've just used that in a lot of the places around the home, and I'm just changing the colour. And I used those rugs there. I haven't used them before, but I thought they really suited this build, kind of stacked rugs on each other. I can't remember if that was a update item or if it was with something, I can't remember, but anyway, I think they look really cool. So I'm just going around choosing places where I can put the items. So moving on to the back bedroom area, one of the huts to the left hand side. I think it's a left hand side one. So I wanted it to be a shared bedroom, so I just put these matching beds in here, and I'm just going around the build, just nothing fancy, nothing kind of themed, but I just wanted it to look, you know, that kind of island living looking feeling. And I find these decorations, these hanging kind of fabrics, and I put them in, and I'm just playing around with the different paintings, just something that I think will suit the build. And I just put a tiny little fireplace in. So this bedroom isn't really designed for anyone in particular. I think this one is the boys' bedroom, because I've got a young boy and an older brother, so this is kind of these, you know, for them. I haven't kind of put any kids' toys or anything like that in them. I want it to be quite simple looking. You can go back in once you download it off the gallery if you want to do that. You can go in and just change it up a bit and just change the rooms if that's what you want to do, and put some more clutter in. And then I actually found this painting. I've never found it before, the colourful, the orange colourful, the abstract one. I thought that was really cool, so then I just changed the colours around on that, and I just thought it really fitted this build, to be honest. I really like that one, and I can't believe I've never found them before. It's funny when you're making things and you just use the same objects over and over again, and I feel that, you know, you forget what is actually in the packs sometimes, because you're using the same items, you know, you do forget, and you come across an item, you're like, well, how didn't I not know that was there? Why haven't I used that before? So now I know I'll be using it a lot more. So I'm just moving over to the girls' bedroom. So this is for the teenage girl and the young girl, and again, I didn't want it to be too kind of themed, like teenage girl, etc. So I'm just making it all kind of quite the samey, and I'm just placing in the objects here. I just want a little computer area here in one of the rooms, so I'm just placing that in here. And I find this giraffe lamp, and I never knew that existed either, and I just thought that was really interesting. It was quite funny. So I put that in there, and I just put some candles in with a little bit of a rug, and I just thought that looked quite nice with the colour scheme, and these hanging decorations again, which were really nice. And these new paintings that I've put in the photographs of the underwater, I like them. I scatter them all around the build. So again, I'm using these same kind of paintings that I've used throughout the build because I just think they really suit it. So that's what I'm doing there. And I really like the curtains in this pack as well. I think they're really interesting. I like the way they hang, and I'm looking forward to using them in different builds to see what I can come up with. And I'm just going around here and I'm just decorating with a bit of fern and things like that, just a little floral decoration, just something to make it look prettier, because I want the eye to, you know, wander all over the place and go, oh, that's really pretty, you know. I just like that. I don't know why, I just like to make things look interesting. So then I've got this kind of roof area, the third level here in the middle hut, and I wasn't sure what to do. I thought, should I put a few beds in or should I put a deck in? And I decided to choose the fish tank, and I put a fish tank in with a few kind of like cushions and a table area. And I've used this Tiki Bar. I've never used it before, and that is from, if you remember when The Sims first came out, you got this Tiki Bar thing and I've never used it. I mean, I always thought to myself, you know, I could make a tiki nightclub or something like that, but I'd never felt that it was appropriate. And so this is the first time I've ever used it, and it's really cool because when you're playing the sim in live mode, it blows out flames, etc., which is really interesting. So that's the end of the build, guys, for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed building this one. I know I always say that, but this is probably my favourite so far. So if you haven't already, please hit that like button, it really helps. And if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Until next week, bye!
Chasing you away from my reality, breaking us into pieces. Once you were my dream. I don't know where we went wrong. You knew the answers all along. It's up to me trust never been stronger. I'm up in the clouds when you're around, but when you're not, it's getting much harder. And I'm falling down, down, I'm falling down. I see your face on all of the pages.